Hi, I'm Procrastinating Writer, otherwise known as James Edwards, so let's begin this video, shall we? Today's video is a vlog. It's just me talking in front of a camera in my bedroom. Wow, James, the creativity! Really, this isn't really to do about me trying to teach anything. I don't think I teach anything. I think having that approach on my channel has been a detriment to it and to my choices of video I can do as a writer, just expressing themselves via this channel. I think the videos I'm most sort of proud of are the ones where I've got to express myself and talk about my opinion, and I think those are the ones that get the best sort of engagement. Now, my most popular video is how to write a romance novel, and I've watched it back a few times here and there. It's got maybe like 1,500 views, and it blows my mind that it's got that many views. But I watch it and I hate it. I talk really asinine in it. I think I'm patronising, condescending. I think I'm really forced in it. I think I've made a lot of bad creative choices in it. Such as my advice, I think, was done rather poorly. And I also think as well putting a whole subscribe in the middle of the video was just stupid. It was a cop-out because I had point 2 and point 3 to make, or point 3 and point 4 to make, and I merged them together, I think because they were so much alike. And as I was talking about it, it felt so natural to go into it that at the end I was lazy, and I put that little bit in the middle there, and I re-recorded myself saying, you know, I effed up when I noticed it in editing. And it was lazy, and I don't want to do that on my channel. I don't want to do videos that take me 5 seconds to figure out. I think how I started was just with an idea and talking and putting the whole ramble on there. But I find now that I edit a lot, and a lot of my videos I've been very preoccupied with audience retention, which I thought was a bad thing for my channel. I wanted it to grow, and one of the ways I read and saw it grow was if people kept watching my videos, then YouTube would keep recommending my videos. And that was a bad move, because by doing it artificially and trying to do quick cuts and jokes or get to everything to the point, it became the videos I hated and wanted to create the counter video of. Now, I know I can do entertaining and do the things in my head, but oftentimes I don't have the energy for it. I don't have the personality for it. It feels like a performance, and therefore I'm really hard judging myself on it. When I edit, I am staring at myself for 3 hours, sometimes editing a 5-minute video down from like 7 minutes, and I rewatch it and rewatch it and rewatch it. And my previous video that I tried to do that I'm not publishing, I might do differently, was one about me talking about how my writing is amateur and the things I've noticed about my past stories and current writing, traits of amateur writing. And if you are interested, then basically it went the dialogue modifiers. Anything you cannot say through the context of the line or dialogue alone should be placed in the beginning. If you're someone saying something enthusiastically, then say they are enthusiastic before you have the line of dialogue, so it colours the line of dialogue, so people don't have to reread the same line. Another one was laundry list descriptions, and being too physical and factual and literal with your description. Someone being tall with medium length hair and blue jacket doesn't tell me anything emotionally engaging or vivid about this person. It's a list, and it creates a very generic and bland character, and generally it was trying to find things that are engaging. I think the third point was about adjectives and why you should kill adjectives, and why adjectives sometimes do not work is because they're too vague. It's not vivid, it's not specific, and I think a lot of what I said in that was just about the confidence in searching for the proper words, the proper lines. I've mentioned pitch black is like one of my favourite words to say. It's one of my favourite descriptions for no reason other than it's quaint, other than it feels like an actual thing you would see in a story. And I have to edit that out. I love putting it in, but I love assassinating it at the same time. You know, it's cruel. Another point was about plot, and I found my first book in Trilogy that I'm not going to write anymore, but I'll tell you more about that in a second. That book had a plot, had a journey and a progression, and the second one didn't. It felt like it was a story. And the classic example I've seen on the internet is the king died and then the queen died. That's the example of story, just events that happen. Plot is the king died and the queen died from grief. Now, the queen dying is event B, the king death is event A. The queen dying from grief would not happen if the king had lived. And that's a very simple way of explaining it. You need to have a plot in your story, which means the events that happen must not just come from other characters all the time and come from random encounters, but has to be because of something. And the fifth one was mentality, and this is something that really heavily links into why I'm not writing my trilogy anymore, is because you have to realize if you are trying to get to a point where you're publishable, say even if you tell yourself this is just a novel I'm writing for fun, then go nuts, write whatever you want. But if you do want to one day publish it and release it, the idea is you have to write it with your reader in mind. It has to be for them, not just for yourself. I've said before, the first draft's for you and the second draft is for other people. But if you look at your second draft and you think there's no way in hell I can make this enjoyable for anyone, then I don't know about that. I can't safely say, because I know me saying it, even if it's my opinion, can have a lot of effect, because the opinions of other writers on the internet and other vloggers has somewhat made me think and even made me feel doubt, feel like I'm doing something wrong, and other times it makes me feel like I'm doing something right, and often you get that hypocritical idea in your brain, but it's someone is saying this is right and someone says that very thing is wrong, and you wonder where, and you have to find the middle line, you have to find where it is that you lie in that spectrum. But mentality really was that you are writing this to write a story and to tell a story. Know when you're telling a story for yourself and when you're telling it for other people. If you just want to continue this as a hobby, do whatever you want. You don't have to think about publishing. I don't think publishing, either self or otherwise, is the next logical step. I think it's an ambition and an aspiration that you can choose whether or not to go for. And you don't have to make a second one and publish it. You don't have to box yourself into a certain generic definition of what you think a writer is. If anything, you do what it is that you love and excites you and you want to do, not trying to follow other people thinking you have to be like that. Which is why a lot of my videos on my channel I think have gone down and I'm not happy with, because I felt like I was trying to catch up or do something someone else was doing. I thought that, you know, I just generally sort of went off the rails. Although I didn't go insane and kill myself. Have a cup of tea and check the recording time. I know, this is desperately interesting. So about my trilogy, which I've mentioned here and there if you've seen it in the comments and maybe in a video. You might see it in a link in one of my video descriptions, I don't know. But I'm not writing it anymore. What it is, the Soul Gazer, was the first book was a gift. I wrote it because I was watching a lot of Studio Ghibli films and I liked their imagery in my head. And so I wrote it out as a gift. And that was my motivation to write it. I was using a lot of my personal experience and a lot of from around me to just funnel that into a dramatic story. And then I got the idea in my head when I finished it. It didn't want to die. It didn't want to stop. It was a standalone story, but a lot of story questions were still open, and I wanted to answer that. And the second book I found is not enjoyable for me to read. Because I was writing it with the mentality of essentially everything I was feeling was what I was expressing through it. It was my personal therapy more than a novel. I still think it's a story, but it's not one I want to publish because it's not a story I think I honestly would want someone to read. Yeah, I've made people read it. You know, I've gotten readers and my girlfriend's read it, and my parents have read the first one at the very least, but I don't want to continue writing it. I think there's something I can do with the idea, and I can do with the story, and I can use it as a trilogy, but the fun, exciting way I can see of doing it that would be great for a reader is not the way I can write it right now. I don't feel like I can write it. And I feel like when I go back to it and I write it, my prose is just, I guess it's flabby. It's sort of very cliched, it's very passive. Whereas when I write something else now, I feel like the prose is stronger. And it might be because I'm using a different voice. You know, I'm writing third person instead of first person. I'm writing about a different character, a different tone and different themes. So my edge, my knife is cutting different kinds of meat. And I might just be getting bored of cutting bacon. Interesting metaphor. And for the most part right now I've stopped, because it's not fun writing the third book. I'm getting close to the end, I know how it's going to end, but I don't like how it's ending. I don't like it one bit. And I think it's wouldn't be a good service to the readers. And whilst I can edit it, it's not going to be a labour of love. It's going to be sheer retardation, determinated retardation, dirtness, to go over the story that I no longer care about, because then I'm going to be hitting artificial, arbitrary notes I put up myself to try and create something to a market when my heart's not in it. And I've spent 3-4 years doing something with my heart in it, but my heart's slowly going from it. So I might revisit it in the future. But what does that mean? I've been wondering to myself if I'm a writer anymore. But there's been an idea that I've had for quite a while now, a science fiction mystery thriller that I've had in my head for quite a while now. And I've been stuck on trying to figure out exactly all the bits. And I've always thought of myself that I wasn't a strong enough writer yet to tackle it. That there was things in it that I would not be able to tackle, not be able to actually achieve. And I think I put that barrier up for no reason. I think because I want to have it be amazing, that I cannot see how I am an amazing writer. But I think I'm a strong writer. I think I'm a confident writer. I think I am a good writer, I'm a good storyteller. But I don't think I'm a fully fledged, experienced storyteller. I think there's still things I need to do. There's still things I need to bite off. I think I really do bite off quite a big chunk, and I run dangerously on the line between quitting and persistentness. And I feel like I should tackle this big story I've been wanting to do. And I love the idea of this massive story I want to do. It fills me full of excitement, the same excitement I had when I first started the Soul Gazer trilogy. And so what does that mean for you guys out there listening to me ramble on and on and on? Well, it means I'm still going to be doing these videos, but I can't do these videos daily, and I don't think I can do them weekly without, at the moment, until I figure out what it is you come to this channel for, what it is this channel is, because it's a mix mash. And I want to give my opinion on writing. And so hopefully this vlog, this video has probably entertained you for the last couple of minutes. Like it's going to last a couple of minutes. But it's really just me airing. And I think you will see a few of these every now and then. And I want to know what it is that you like to see on this channel. Because I can't really go by metrics alone. Because it never really tells me why people click. You know. If you don't just think I'm sexy and stunning and gorgeous and funny, I just continue being me, I guess. No? Okay.